You are watching Sound Candy Talk live.
Tonight.
Basi yule mtoto akasema ile siku moja mimi sijaenda kanisani na Yesu Kristo anakuja.
Because kuleta ndege ya Chief of Defense Forces down is not only negligence but criminal negligence.
Nilikuja hapa hadi ya Gong nikamwambia mchague Ruto. Na mimi naomba msamaha.
Na mchezo huu rais, ni mchezo ambao utakusaidia wewe rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Ni mchezo ambao unakufundisha jinsi vile kufanya kazi.
Your Excellency, what helped that case was there was a policeman who recorded his statement in English.
Sasa huyu ndiye nilipiga kofi. Juzi ndio amenipigia simu akaniambia
Tonight.
Kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound Candy Talk live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candy Talk, open forum political discussion show, the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, it is now official. The former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has launched the political party he's been telling us, and he's been keeping us on wait and wait. Well, it's finally here. There is the Democratic Citizens Party, DCP. There is already another connotation of the party, which I don't want to bring up right now, but it will emerge in the course of the conversation. Well, the launch of the political party by Rigathi Gachagua was not free of drama. There were some rowdy youth who are being, reported to have come to disrupt the program. And this is becoming synonymous with Rigathi Gachagua and his meetings. So far, there is enough occurrences of violence in most of Gachagua's meetings, which is suspicious in my opinion. But that will also form part of what we'll be discussing. Why is where Rigathi Gachagua goes, especially on his official operation as, of course, the critic of the government, is faced with violence and disruptions that are alarming. Why is this the case? And then, of course, we'll be looking at the merit and the demerits of the political party the explanation why there is a need for another political party and not, work with the current existing political parties. Why is this the case? We'll be looking onto that. That now more disturbing is the William Ruto's remarks about his ties or newly found relationship with China is not sitting well with the United States of America. Now the matter has found its place on the floor of the United States Senate. And it appears now the relationship between Kenya and the US is shaky because of the remarks by William Ruto while on his state visit in China. We'll be looking at this. Why is that the case? That the US is not comfortable with the relationship of Kenya and China. What is this that is in these West countries in their relation with Africa? Don't forget the Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso of West Africa have, pushed away the West influence in their country and the presence of their military bases in their country. And it is not sitting well with the West. We seem to have a restless West because of the revolutionary mindset and operations that is on right now in Africa. Could this be part of it, or there's other fears of the relationship between Kenya and China that may not be sitting well with the United States? We need to hear your opinion on the same, and that's why we have this open forum where we require you to come forth and speak up and let us hear what you feel about what is happening. And then, of course, is there any grounds why the US should be uncomfortable with the relationship between Kenya and China? What is this about the US and Africa that must be sucked into their war with China? We'll need to get that clearly spelled out. So we'll form part of our discussion majorly on that same. And then, of course, the William Ruto presidency has had its own shares of trouble when it comes to international diplomatic relations. He has not, in my opinion, done well when it comes to establishing good relations, not with the neighbors, not with the other far countries. It appears he is not doing enough in ensuring that the relationship between Kenya and other nations is smooth. It is terrible that Congo is having issues with Kenya. Sudan is having issues with Kenya. And all this as a result of the William Ruto policies and the William Ruto's moves. So is it a problem of our diplomatic operations, or there is something serious that warrants the US to be uncomfortable with the close ties between Kenya and China? I need to hear what you think and feel about the whole scenario. Please make use of the platforms that we are on right now. We are live on YouTube, Sound Candy Talk Live, as well as Sound Candy Talk Facebook page and TikTok. Wherever you get us, how you get us, please let us know where you are getting us from. And then, of course, your opinion. You can either come to the studio and be able to join the studio through the link shared in the comment section and be part of the conversation, or you can pinpoint whatever you wish to pinpoint through your comment, and we'll be able to read several of them as we continue with this great conversation. Well, this is it. Now, beside the launching of a new political party by Rigathi Gachagua, the drama in the place has not gone down well. We have journalists, people who are on the line of duty, and then, of course, journalists, when they come to an event like a launch of a political party or a presser by a government official or ex-government official, it is usually on invitation, okay? And then now we have journalists who are nursing wounds right now in hospital. All of it is that they took their camera and their equipment to go and cover a launch of a political party. And then there was a violence breakout, and it resulted into what? The defense team, or rather the security team for the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, now getting into confrontation with a rowdy gang that was out to disrupt the meeting. And in between, the journalists suffered as well as other Kenyans. And so we're looking at this. Why are our politics wrapped up in violence? And what is this that is feared today by the journalists doing what they are required to do? And we are talking about this because of our recent history, especially. You remember the tear gassing of the Butere girls in Nakuru, and the tear gassing of journalists while they were reporting the scenario and things like that. Why is security forces turning their gun against the journalist who is on duty doing only what they are supposed to do, and that is keep the nation in the know-how of what is going on? So we're having wherever free press population, or what is this that is making this happen? I want to hear what you feel about the whole scenario. Thank you so much for joining, and I will encourage us to come to the studio as early as now so that we are able to cover much of what is required before time begin to fail us. So thank you very much. If you're able to get us, share the link widely, get more people to join, please. Let us gang up and make a difference today. Well, let's start with that story of Rigathi Gachagua and the launch of the new political party. And you tell us what you are hearing and what is being said and what is being avoided from being said. And then, of course, in the process, we'll be able to tie 1 and 2 together, and therefore be able to succeed in ensuring that no Kenyan is taken advantage of by the political class that wants to twist things and turn them into their favor. So let's look at what went down in the launch of the new political party, DCP.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua unveiled his Democracy for Citizens Party, DCP, saying the party will sweep President William Ruto out of office in 2027. And as Emmanuel Tona reports, Gachagua unveiled a team of 27 National Executive Council members, including former UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala, who is now the party's new interim deputy party leader.
He trudged to the podium as he sought to end the months-long speculation on which political vehicle he will use in the next general election.
DCP! DCP!
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua announcing that he will be taking over the reins of the now revamped Democracy for the Citizens Party as his preferred outfit for the 2027 polls. Gachagua promising to live by the party's symbol of a listening ear and a slogan of Skiza wa Kenya in his quest for government in just about 2 years.
I'm a truthful man and an honest man. I keep my word and my promises. I detest lies, and that is why I disagreed with the liar number 1.
The former DP naming his 27-member team of close allies to the party's National Executive Council, including former UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala, who now deputizes him. David Mingati takes over the chairperson post, while Hesbon Obanga has been picked for the party's Secretary General position. Former Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mitheka Linturi is the National Organizing Secretary. Former Laikipia Woman Representative Kate Warogoro is the National Women's Leader, while Minor Commander takes charge of the Council of Eminent Persons.
The people of the Republic of Kenya.
None of the elected serving members of the Gachagua's team were given leadership roles to avoid a possibility of a by-election if they were to lose their seats for jumping ship.
I must, however, caution that those who think they can mess around with our country. Our message is clear. The people of Kenya have unfinished business with you. We have a date with you in August 2027.
Tumesema kwamba tutazidi kusikiza Wakenya. Wakenya wakisema jambo, sisi tunafuata yale ambayo Wakenya wanasema, sababu hii ni chama chao. Wakenya wakisema kwamba hawataki hii mfumo ya SHA, wanataka turudi katika ile NHIF, basi tutasikiza Wakenya.
DCP!
Gachagua is now expected to officially launch the party on June 4th this year. And after unveiling his DCP party, the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has now promised to begin nationwide Meet the People tours to popularize his party, promising to be a listening ear to the cries of Kenyans. Emmanuel Toa, Citizen TV at the DCP headquarters, Nairobi.
Mambo yamekwenda hivyo huko Lavington, wakati is it Lavington? I think so. Wakati wa launch hiyo political party inaitwa DCP, Democracy for the Citizen Party. Now, this is the promise being fulfilled of one Rigathi Gachagua, and you can see he's still obsessed with getting even with William Ruto, and of course accusing him for being a liar. Then he says this particular political party will be a truthful one like him, and they will keep the promise. Do you have any truth in that? Do you believe that Rigathi Gachagua will do better given an opportunity as president as opposed to William Ruto? That is something we'll also look at it interestingly, because it is easier to criticize and call names, but when you're given that particular responsibility, if you're asked to wear that shoe, will you do better? And what shows that you can do better? What shows that you are a better leader than those in office? So the DCP, the political party, putting together so that he gets ready for the next general elections. I would want us to look at this keenly. Should every Kenyan have a political party for them to have political sense? Or should every Kenyan have a political party for them to have a say on the national cake and the distribution of resources? It appears that the political class wants to push Kenyans to a place of excluding themselves from the table where leadership is discussed, and all of it is in the pretext that they don't have a political party. And so one of the lies where Mr. Truthful is telling us that he fell out with William Ruto, and the reason he fell out with William Ruto is because he did not have a political party. He did not have how to negotiate, because he got into an agreement to work with William Ruto without a political party in between. And so I'm posing a question: is it that each one must have a political party for them to have political sense? Should everybody have a political party for them to have a say on what is happening in the country? In my understanding, that is neither here or there. If you have anything that can help this country, you don't need a political party in order to execute it. We have had positive influencers around who have, impacted people's lives, brought about transformation in their villages and other various places. This aspect of everyone must have political party in order for them to have a say. My personal opinion, it's uncalled for, is unnecessary, and is just a mere excuse of our incompetence and our running away from responsibility. And so did Rigathi Gachagua need a political party? I don't think so. We have got so many political parties, especially from Mount Kenya. Why can't he work with any of them? There is PNU for Peter Munya. There is GNU for this other one, Kiunjuri. There is Ubuntu for the former Nakuru governor, Lee Kinyanjui. Okay, there is Jubilee, of course, Jeremiah Kioni, Uhuru Kenyatta, and there is also a party by Moses Kuria. It's I think Wairia Pia had a political party. And so why should Rigathi Gachagua form another political party and say that that is the only way he can use to negotiate? I have my reservation about that, and I don't see anything different coming from all that Gachagua is offering. And yesterday I had begun to talk about this Gachagua phenomena in the sense that Gachagua tells us that he is launching a national political party, which he has launched, and this national political party is not going to be tribal. But now when Gachagua is inviting other leaders on the table for negotiating about the national cake and winning of elections, he doesn't want to negotiate with political parties. He wants to negotiate with tribal groupings. And now that is where I don't make sense of what Rigathi Gachagua is doing, okay? When he wants to talk to Matiang'i, he says Matiang'i should go to Kisii and show how much of the Kisii people are with him. He should show the might of being supported by the Kisii people. Then he qualifies to come on the table to discuss. The same demand is placed on Kalonzo Musyoka. He has to have his community behind him. Then another pressure is placed on Natembeya and of course the other Luhya leaders, that until they are able to bring all the Luhyas and make them to vote in one place, they cannot succeed in their political quest. Now, all this, in my opinion, is confusing, number one. Then number two, it is a sure evidence that some of these people we are looking up to for leadership, they can't provide it. And even those planning and praying and taking oath to uphold the Constitution, they seem not to have an understanding of that same Constitution. And so they want to have, in a multi-party democratic nation or state, want to have tribal negotiating capacity. That for me to have any audience with Gachagua, I should go to my village, rally together my community, and when my community believes and works with me, then I qualify to sit on the same table with Gachagua. The same thing that he is speaking about even in the launch of his political party. And so at times I tend to feel that Gachagua portrays himself as being tribal. He believes in tribalism. He wants to work using tribal strength and tribal weaknesses to pursue his political agenda. And in my opinion, he is not a nationalist, and therefore he should not have any place in the national office. We must separate these two. This aspect of giving leadership, especially national leadership, to opportunists, those who are waiting for something to drop and then they pick, is the reason why we're in a mess in the first place. And so political party being launched, no problem. We're in a multi-party democratic state, but in my understanding, we are going too far with this, everybody having their political party and pretending that when you have a political party is the only time you can operate and function in doing what you're required to do. You don't need that political party. And therefore, to me, it's needless for Rigathi Gachagua to launch a political party. There are so many political parties he would have joined, and he is working out to work with other Kenyans. Why can't he work with Jubilee? Why can't he work with the other existing political parties? There is PNU, there is GNU, there is the one for Moses Kuria, one for Mwangi wa Iria, and other, of course, Ubuntu for Lee Kinyanjui. And so to me, Rigathi hajaonyesha dalili ya kuwa kiongozi wa nchi hii, na tukifanya makosa ya kufuata upepo na tupatie funguo za nchi hii mikononi mwa Gachagua, hapo ndio mtalia vizuri. Wacha hii mnalia Ruto. Mimi nawaelezea wazi wazi, kama mtu hajaachana na ukabila, hajaachana na mazungumzo ya ukabila, mapendekezo ya kikabila na kufanya kazi kikabila, kama hajakombolewa na hiyo, basi hawezi kuaminika na hawezi kutekeleza wajibu wake ipasavyo. Kwa hivyo Kenya ya Wakenya wote, hiyo ndio swala kuu la kazi yetu hapa tunaifanya, na tunataka kila Mkenya awe nyumbani katika nchi hii. Kusikuwe na kubaguana ati wewe sio Mluya toka hapa, wewe sio Mkikuyu toka hapa, wewe sio Mluo toka hapa, wewe uko nipigia kura toka hapa. All that ought not to be the case. We must as a people ban all tribal political parties. Yes, if we want to solidify this country and get all our people enjoying to be Kenyans, celebrating to be Kenyans, we should ban all tribal political parties and come up with strong national political parties that has everyone and representation from everywhere. This issue of cooking up political parties as a vehicle for election only, it is an abuse to our constitution as well as to our intelligence. And so the era of constituting political parties so that you use them as vehicles for elections and that is all, that needs to be arrested. And so I just add this DCP political party to the same list of TNA, of URP, and all other political parties that have gone ahead that have you know, been in operation, but they are not enhancing the development of the democracy space. They are not upholding the operations within the framework of the Constitution. We have turned the Constitution into a dictionary that anytime we run into a difficult word is when we consult with the Constitution. And if nobody questions what we are doing, we can as well ignore the Constitution and go ahead with those strange operations. And so we need more than tribal political parties. We need more than opportunistic leaders. We really need leaders. People can lay down their life for the country, lay down their life for the future generation. And so congratulations to the Wamanyoro man, but he has not convinced me why he needs a new political party and why is it necessary that it has to be him and no one else. Thank you, everybody. As you join from wherever you are, please tap the screen. Those following us on TikTok, wacha tuchafue your screen, watu wakajue kwamba hakuna kulala leo. Lazima tuangazie masuala haya ipasavyo. Naendelea kukaribisha mahala pote ulipo. Tuko live kwa YouTube, tuko live kwa Facebook, tuko live kwa TikTok, na tunakuhimiza tafadhali makinika katika kutoa maoni yako. Kama unaona vyama ndio tunataka, vyama ndio tunahitaji, kila mtu akuwe na chama, basi tuambie sababu zako. Kwangu mimi tuko na political parties za kutosha. Wale ambao hawawezi kufanya kazi na wengine wana dosari. Yes, wako na dosari. Waswahili wanasema mkataa wengi ni mchawi. Mkataa wengi ni mchawi. Kwa hivyo kama kuna vyama vingi tu lakini wewe unaviruka vyote, wewe unaanza kuanzisha cha kwako, inaonyesha kwamba wewe sio mtu wa watu na wewe sio mtu anayependa kushirikiana na wenzako. Na hiyo kwangu mimi inaharibu sababu kuu za kuendelea coexist kama Wakenya, ile hali atufanikishi kuwa na uhusiano ambao unafaa, kuwa na uhusiano ambao una hakikisha kwamba kila Mkenya anafurahia kuwa Mkenya. Lakini tukiendelea na mtindo huu wa kwamba kila mtu aende kwao atengeneze political party yake, na hiyo political party ndio tutatumia kutafuta serikali, na tukipata serikali inakuwa yetu, ya watu wetu na wale waliotupigia kura, hapo mimi naona tumekosea na lazima turekebike. Kwa hivyo sipingi political parties, lakini tuwe na sababu ya kutosha ya kutengeneza political party, na hiyo creation ya political party iwe ya kufanikisha mafanikio ya wengi wa Wakenya, isikuwe ya kufanikisha watu kupita kura na kwenda bungeni kulala. Lazima tuwe na ile hali ya kuwajibika katika hiyo mambo yote. Nashukuru tu sana tunapoendelea na mchakato huu, na kuomba tafadhali makinika, karibisha mtu makinika kulike video, kupiga kura yako, na tuongee masuala haya kwa kina. Asante sana. Namuona Mkenya Mkora. Haya, hali vipi? We Mkenya Mkora, mbona mtaki sisi tulonji political party quietly?
Mimi kwa nini hamkuleta media na wewe ni mtu wa media mkaona nikilaunch yangu pia?
Najua media tunalipwanga ndio tukuje. Wewe ulitulipa?
Si mko media bwana, si kazi ni kamera, mtalipwa na nini? Mtalipwa huko mbele.
Sisi ni media kulipwa. Hata kuna wacheza mpira wa bure na kuna wacheza mpira wa kulipwa. So kama sisi tumechagua tuwe wa kulipwa, mbona mnatulazimisha tuwe wa bure?
Mimi ni launch yangu inaitwa Mkenya Mkora Initiative. MMI.
No problem. MMI.
Hiyo ni ya wakora wote wenye wako Kenya.
Hakuna shida. Uko na registration card, ni naweza kukurejistia watu kadhaa ambao unajua ni wakora.
Unajua siku hizi kuna chama nowadays, chama zote ziko na social touch somewhere. Kuna hustlers kuna liberators, yaani lazima ukuwe na kakitu. Sasa sisi tumeamua kuweka chama ya wakora. Na mimi ndio chairman, mimi ndio party leader. Ati
DCI tunawatafuta.
Kwa nini chama? Wacha tukue wakora wako wengi Kenya, nikiwa chairman wao. I'm the party leader.
Founding party leader. Hii itabidi mfanye kazi closely na Wachagoya ndio. Alafu kumbuka kuna timu mafisi. So mafisi wakora
watu wa banji, kila mtu anajiweka in their own demarcation bwana. Lakini hata watoto watakuja waseme hata sisi tuko na yetu ya watoto.
Haya, karibu mawili matatu tukisonga.
Yes, Kenya is a very funny country, and I think Kenya used to be a very serious country until, forgive my language, nonsense started happening. Why am I saying that? And I apologize kwa mwenye hajapenda hiyo language on national TV, but nonsense is not a bad word. Nonsense is that when we have a constitution, and nimeingia purposely to ask you this question. Bernard, if you've gone to the court of law and you've been told that you are not able or qualified to hold any office according to the constitution, should we go back and look at this constitution to maybe kuna kakitu kengine tuliacha? Unajua, on his rights to hold an office, a public office, that you cannot uwezi anzisha chama. Okay, unaanzishaji chama na constitutionally you cannot hold any office? Is that a lacuna in our constitution that does not define that? You see, I want to dig deep. Hapo ndio, hiyo ndio swali yako nimekuletea leo. I wanted nikuje kabla watu wengine wakuje, ndio nikuulize hiyo personally. So if you cannot hold a constitutional office, how then can you be constitutionally holding a party that is actually supposed to be counted constitutional? And remember, this party are not just there as flower girls. This party get that money, the funding. Kwanza umesahau kuna ya Kalembe Ndile na alishaenda. Ilikuwa nini? Keep ama something.
Tip.
You know? Tip. Yeah. Bado kuna hiyo inapata bado funding ikifika time ya election. Bernard, how many parties are we gonna have and they all get funding? Huyu anajua kabisa hakuna mtu atamchagua, cause sisi tulikuwa tunampatia mic atuambie kitu yenye liko huko ndani. Sasa anaenda anafungua constitutional, angalia hakuna mali na mnyima kufanya hiyo kitu, but we need now to go revisit that constitution. Remember, this constitution was supposed to be revisited in 10 years. tulisema tupitishe venye iko, we will revisit. But you see, these are one of the things that now we need to look at. Because the next time utapata Waititu naye anafungulia yake kutoka huko jela. Haya, wacha ikuwe ufunguluzi wangu baba.
Are you suggesting we should put a control over registration of political parties, or what are you saying?
Yes, exactly. You just said it. Yes, there should be a caveat of how many parties. I mean, kila mtu atakuwa na. Will we have 45 million parties in a country? You see, the developed countries have actually just two or three. Line yourself with where your ideology is. Don't go unaenda unafungua huko, utapata hata mama mboga, which I don't say ni mbaya, lakini utapata hata mtu yote tu akisikia tu anaenda anafungua tu party. Na ukumbuke kuna ya Murara pia.
So shida ni political parties ama ni Wakenya kujua katiba na kuishi kulingana na katiba?
The latter. Shida ni Wakenya kujua katiba na kuishi according to hiyo katiba. Wakenya wajui katiba na hawajali juu ya katiba, lakini wanafungwa kila siku kwa hiyo katiba. Wewe kama unajua katiba na uko na unaweza cheza mchezo yako huko, katiba doesn't matter to you. Gachagua, okay, the constitution doesn't say it, so siwezi sema he's unconstitutional kufungwa hiyo kwa sababu there's a lacuna there. But I want to believe these are the things that zingefaa zimebadilishwa, so that if chapter 6 you're not part of chapter 6, then you cannot do some gimmicks like this.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. The illegality, I don't think it doesn't exist. I agree with you in terms of launching a political party or belonging to a political party. It's you are right, and every other person is right, including even those we think shouldn't be. But Asil 2 TV anasema tell Kenya Mkora at parties don't get any money if they don't reach a certain threshold, like a certain percentage of the representation. Asil 2 TV, you're right. Not all political parties are funded. There is what is called parliamentary political parties. Parliamentary political parties, meaning how many members of parliament are in parliament courtesy of that particular political party. And that is why only parliamentary political parties are funded by the state. The rest continue being briefcase political parties, individual political parties, until they grow and become what can take the attention of the concerned
Bernard, I disagree completely. I disagree 130%. Hata kama kuna 200. Let me tell you, Bernard, they get each and every they get. Kidogo tu ni ile maybe haionekani, lakini kidogo they get. And if you know someone uko, you will get. There are some people who have opened up just political parties that will never put any person there, and they get some money from there because for the virtue that you have a political party. This is TIA, this is Africa, this is Kenya. We know the backroom games that they do. Wengine wanafungwanga just for that money, not to launch or not to put you in seat.
Now, I'm not saying political parties don't make money or they don't mortgage whatever they have in terms of giving different offers to different interested parties. We're talking about official. You are the constitution man here. You came with the outcry of a constitution. So we're only talking about constitutional provision in terms of which political parties qualify for funding, especially from the exchequer. And so if that is the avenue we are looking at, then I agree with Asil 2 TV. Not all political parties are funded from the national treasury, only parliamentary political parties, meaning according to their strength in the National Assembly and in the Senate is what determines how much each political party is given. but not all political parties in existence in this country are eligible for that. Some of the political parties have never sent a member of parliament in parliament. I mean, although they have been in existence for long. You know, Etangula has a political party that only him and maybe 1-2 other people make it to the National Assembly. And so their numbers are too low to reach even the threshold for them to be considered for anything in terms of funding. And so let's not mix the audience by talking about the Kalembendile approach ya kuuzia watu certificate. That one is making money in-house or making money the other way. But the really aspect of funding of political parties, enhancing democratic development in the country needs to be run by the current regime in ensuring that all parliamentary political parties are given their dues. I think that's clear.
The thing is that even I agree with you, siwezi kataa, lakini even you're contradicting yourself, because now when you talk about kama the last statement that you just made right there, when you say that see kama hiyo Kalembendile ya kuuzia watu party tickets na nini, what exactly do you think these political parties do? Ndio kweli wanauzia watu, which is unconstitutional itself. So you cannot be supporting a constitution on one side and then you're supporting unconstitutionalism in the other side, trying to say that the constitution doesn't talk about this, but the constitution already spoke about it. Yani it's like you're una mvirigo, unazunguka around. Yes, umekubali constitution, side ingine unakubaliana it's okay to go against the constitution. I mean, that's why I'm saying tuko na shida. Lazima tujue constitution. Anyway, tuendelee.
Wewe ndio unajichanganya mwenyewe. Mimi sijasema katiba imesema nini. Nimesema kuna ile ujanja ya political parties ya kutengeneza hela kivyao katika ile masuala ya kuuzia watu nini? Tickets. Hiyo katiba I support na haifanywi kulingana na katiba. Ile mimi ninazungumzia ni ile kuna a percentage of the national budget that is allocated to political parties and is supposed to enhance political party development and enhance democratic maturity processes in the country. Now, that does not happen to every political party, and the only way for you to make it to that list where your political party is funded, you must be a parliamentary political party that is have a sizable number of members of parliament in the parliament on your political ticket, on your political party ticket. And so the other maswala yako ile umepanga nyumbani vile mutapika bila chumvi na muongeze ndani sukari, hiyo ni maswala ya kwenu nyumbani, hayahusu nchi nzima, although it affects, hayahusu nchi nzima na hayahusu kukataa ama kukubali katiba. And so let's not mix the two things. The political parties,
I feel as you move on,
political parties in order for them to get funding from the exchequer. Lakini ya hawking, hiyo ni hawking tu kama kawaida. Wewe viatu umevaa vimekuchosha, umeamua sasa unataka kuuza, hiyo ni hawking ya kwako. Ukitengeneza hela si ya kwako.
Agreed baba, nakubali, naona point yako na naikubali kabisa, we na asili. Now my question is if pale unajua kuna mtu pharmacist pale akona Panadol na huyu amepitia through the constitution ways of doing, akona license pale, mimi nikienda nikuja na Panadol yangu huko kando, utakuja uniambie hiyo ni ya kwako ya nyumbani?
So, unajua kama tuseme hujaibia mtu, umeuzia mtu, willing buyer willing seller, you remember that?
Wachana na uhuru, lakini ukweli, lakini Bernard, just look at if there's a law somewhere alafu wewe umekuja umeniuzia panado ya kwako. Kwa hivyo wewe hujafuata, lakini tunasema hiyo ni ya kwako wewe, huko kwa constitution, so you're living unconstitutionally because hiyo ni mambo yako ya nyumbani.
Oh, yes, which is wrong, and that is why I'm for the full kicking the constitution into full operation, okay, so that we have a country that is operating on the constitutional systems. If we have a country that is running on constitutional systems, then all these things will take care of themselves, okay? Like even the need for many multiplied political parties will not arise if everybody has one space to express themselves in the current existing political parties, and those existing political parties have a free hand in ensuring that they are geared towards democratic development, but not using the political parties as vehicles for election. It's just like we have what we call what are they called, the local football teams, okay? Those ones are playing the villages and all that. The purpose of those younger football team is to build the football career and the football talent. But if we are only meeting to play, to feel good and then go, we are not gearing towards raising really players who are well fashioned to participate into national and international football tournaments, and then we are abusing the whole process. And so political parties don't exist for elections. Hiyo ni ukora na ujinga tumejifunza na tumekubali kama Wakenya. Political parties have a responsibility, and the responsibility is to enhance democratic development, whereby we cannot be operating the way we used to operate in the 60s. That's one of the things that has messed us as a country. We get political parties and we deny those political parties opportunity to grow, mature, and become a system that operates itself in not somebody's business portfolio for using to transact over the elections, and after the elections you fold it, hang it up, and then you will wake it up time for elections. That is wrong, unconstitutional, unacceptable, and is irresponsible from where I sit.
Bernard, you just sijui na kutafuta hapa kando yangu, maybe uko kwa akili yangu, sijui umenifikia saa ngapi. You just said it exactly the way I know and the way I was thinking about it. Bernard, thank you so much. That kama kuna mtu amesikizia kitu Bernard amesema, please go sit down and look it again. Because Bernard, where we are, and the reason, yes, we had, you know, there's a good thing to everything, and there's also some bad things to some things. We did get multipartism, true, but we didn't say that we are going to have every kind of Tom and Dick and Harry to come up with a with a party. We wanted, we at that time it was single Kanu, and we had people who had different kind of opinions. So we wanted a place to be able to have a different opinion, just the way it's happening right now. Especially right now, the social fabric fight that is happening is not even about the political parties. The social fabric that is happening is them against us. That is the biggest part that is. Hiyo ndio kitu Kenya inapigana now, and it's not just Kenya. You've seen Mali, even Nigeria. I saw something now, they are starting to emulate all these things that is happening from the east of Africa. There comes a time that now we don't even care about these political parties, and this is how we've ended to independent candidates who are winning almost every time. Mtu akiamka akiwa independent Last time we had 60% of all independents sneak in or get in. Why? Because we don't care about ODM. We don't care about mtu amefungwa. We don't care about Jubilee. We don't care about that. We are looking at you and saying what it is. And in fact, it has gone so bad that right now, imefika mali, we just don't care. As long as you've been in power, we just don't care. So you can go and come with all those political parties. You can even, hata unaweza kuja na Republicans ama Democrats. Useme wewe ni Democrat wa US. We will not elect you. We don't care. We will go for Bernard, who we know him. Na pia yeye akileta shida, tunamtoa. Just like KJ is not coming back because of the utterances. So basically, I'm liking where Kenya is in the sense of where Kenyan people are in their mind. I'm just not liking how they really throw the constitution behind themselves and bury themselves under the sand. What the proverbial saying that says, if you want to hide anything from Kenyans, hide it in a book. That constitution, one day niliambia mama ameenda achukue hiyo constitution, anaiangalianga ananisomea chapter by chapter. Wengi wetu hapa tukisema hata chapter 6 hawezi mention one. Na mi Bernard si ati na castigate mtu. Nasema mimi na unajua nimekuwa nikiongea constitution for how long. That is our covenant. How we are going to live together. Wakizii, Wagamba na kila mtu. Unajua tunaongeanga tribe kidogo kidogo na tunasahau tuko 56. Anyway, tuendelee. Niko sijaenda.
Okay, just hold on. Thank you for that. But some alarming information here. Mama Mary anasema there is something wrong with the Reverend Lala's phone. I think she suspects that it's been hacked. There's somebody asking for money. Please beware. Don't send money to anybody without confirmation. Last week, it was Stone PK's phone that was
Stone PK, yes, that was hacked. Now, by the way, Bernard, let me say that because I know it personally. I have 4 people that lost 50K Kenyan because that message of Stone PK was coming as you need. I don't know. He needed. It was 50K. There was an amount. Some people, out of their good willing, they actually send that 50K. One of my friends in the UK amerudishiwa yake personally from the bank, but hao wengine bado wanasumbuka because Stone PK akupata hiyo pesa. I speak to him almost every day. He never got that money. It was not him. So be careful in these channels. Bernard, and I think you need to go back the way you used to say. If someone is going to send, we have a number which is personally there so that we can confirm. Because I think you ulilegea kidogo kwa hiyo kitu and we had tulikuwa tumeiarrest hiyo kitu ya watu kuibaiba pesa ovyo. So guys, be careful when you're sending money. Kwanza, especially if you get a given amount for what you need to send, do not send it. Mtu yote mwenye anataka kukuomba usaidizi akuambii ile pesa unafaa kumtumia, unatuma kwa hiari yako.
Yeah, and then thank you for that. We have always communicated here officially when there is a need for any person being supported. Hii mambo ya kando kando ni kama kuna watu wawili tu watatu wamesneak kwa group yetu, especially ya WhatsApp, ndio wanachukua hizo namba alafu wanazitumia vibaya. Kwa hivyo tunaomba kila mtu kama unatupata, don't engage anybody in terms of money transfer without seeking help or understanding from me personally or Mato. All the admins wote wako kwa WhatsApp group, make use of them. Mukipatana kwa group, mkuwe na mkataba, mkubaliane, mu exchange pesa bila sisi kujua. Zikiharibika msituite. Lakini kama kuna mtu anakuuliza msaada na uko na tashwishi yoyote, tuulize kwanza, sisi tuko na information ni kiasi ambayo tunaweza tumia kuchuja mambo na tujue kama huyu ni kweli ama si kweli. So right now I'm trying to get to Lala aja reply, inamaanisha is not in control of that WhatsApp number. So tafadhali don't send money to anybody and beware. Watoto wa Mungu walipokwenda kumuona Mungu, Biblia inasema hata shetani akaenda nao. Kwa hivyo everywhere something good is happening, evil people will always be present. So beware and watch out. And thank you, Mama Mary, for bringing that up. I'm yet to get through to Lala, and I think Mato, you'll also help me using your means. Get to Lala, warn him about the scams. The scammers are so many. I'm talking that out of experience. In as late as yesterday, somebody was asking me whether I know UTV. They're having a promotion, and if I am interested in the promotion. And so I was tired. I just answered them. I said, Kenya has banned all manner of betting. And that's how it disappeared. And they come. Yes.
Bernard, hata nikuchekeshe. Just today, 3 hours ago, I had a call. Oh, I'm calling from, and this is not the first time. The other time niliwatusi. But this is the second time. I'm calling from Sendwave. No, actually the one, hata wanaongea Kizungu, walikuwa wanaongea Kiswahili. Napiga kutoka Sendwave, sijui kuna hii pesa tunafaa tukufanyie sijui nini, ulituma na ikufika $1,000. Nikazima hiyo simu cause nilikuwa kazi. Nikazima hiyo simu. Sasa nilituma 1,000 lini na ilitoka kwa banki yako na nini tunataka tukurudishie. Kenyans, watu siku hizi wamejanjaruka, wanajua mali wanaweza kupata beyond the eka area juu. Usikubali kitu ovyo ovyo hivi, kitu yenye unajua kwanza si yako na ifanyiki. And something like U.S. Stone PK was very convincing because ilikuwa inatoka kwa namba yake direct. And Bernard, and so that people can understand, I went down to investigate hiyo kitu yote. And what I happened to realize is that someone had actually cloned Stone PK's number to where akikutumia ukweli unaona ni namba yake. And you know, if Stone PK will ask me, nimekwama mahali, I need 50K. Guess what? I know it's Stone PK because I can see the number near Stone PK. And that's how I almost did, mpaka nikampigia mwenyewe akaniambia, ai, mimi sijatuma vitu kama hizo. And that's how mimi niliokoka. But 3 of us hawakuokoka, walituma 50 kila mtu. Mmoja huwa UK bank ndio imemrudishia.
Yeah, too bad that people take advantage of a situation which is very nasty. And we're just raising this as an alarm. Everybody be aware, please. I think last week, somebody wanted to hijack our TikTok account. He comes and now it's asking for, there is that confirmation code. And he said I should send him that confirmation code because I don't know. People are just nasty. So please be on the lookout. Usikubali mikataba ambayo uelewi imetoka wapi. Na kama kuna mtu yeyote, awe unamuonanga hapa kwa screen ama unamuona kwa group, tafadhali usijiingize kwa biashara ambavyo hauelewi, kwa sababu wengi kuna wachache wetu hapa ambao nia yao sio nzuri. Kwa hivyo be on the lookout. But Mato, tafuta Lala umjulishe kwamba kuna mtu anatumia namba. So hiyo ndio inaendelea. Mtu anachukua namba,
nitampigia tu saa hizi. Nitapigia tu saa hizi kwa sababu mimi naweza mpigia directly. Unajua tuko area code moja. So naweza mpigia directly. Nitampigia nimwambie.
And then report back. Tukimletanga kabla tumlete huyu Habata, wacha tusongeshe hii nini masandio hayo. Naomba tafadhali tumakinike kukaribishana. Piga kura yako, like video, karibisha mtu, usitazame kipindi peke yako. Hii namba ya watazamaji imekwama hapo, nataka ipande tafadhali. Share the link widely, get more people to join. Thank you TikTok, I can see likes zimepanda kiasi. Naomba zipande na ziendelee kupanda na tushughulikie masuala haya kwa kina. Let me just bring in this as we begin to wrap up the story of the new political party and the chaos that arose from the place. And we'll be now wrapping up on that and then change into this other U.S. story.
The country, the launch of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's political party descended into chaos after a group of goons stormed the party headquarters in an apparent attempt to disrupt the event. Gachagua's security personnel responded by firing in the air as the rowdy youth pelted them with stones. 3 journalists were injured during the melee as Gachagua's men turned on them, brandishing guns, forcefully confiscating their work equipment and deleting footage. While condemning the violence, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen faulted the party officials for failing to notify their police about the event. Melita Oletenges reports.
Gunshots, chaos and retaliation with a barrage of stones. The launch of the Democracy for Citizens Party, led by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, descended into mayhem when a mob of rowdy youth attempted to storm the venue at the tail end of the unveiling event. It was the second attempt by goons to force their entry into the DCP headquarters, trying to pull the gate down, but they were met with fierce resistance by Gachagua's security detail and supporters. The action newsworthy for journalists covering the event, particularly this man captured and dragged by Gachagua's men, alleged to be part of the youth trying to gate crash the party's unveiling. Cameras rolling, the perpetrators in full glare, and the victim helpless. Gachagua's men traded the attack to silence journalists. This man captured brandishing a gun towards journalists in the pandemonium, a grievous danger if the trigger would have gone off. The journalists were suddenly confronted at gunpoint and forced to delete their footage. Their cameras and equipment were temporarily seized in the melee. But the danger was even more serious for the people living in the neighborhood as the gunshots went off towards neighboring flat houses. The injured journalist Brian Tuva of Cast TV suffered head and facial wounds. Nebat Saisi, a cameraman from Standard Media Group, was seriously hurt, and a freelance journalist also suffered injuries. Footage from the attack shows journalists being assaulted by the mob. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has condemned the attack, stating it was an internal disagreement in Gachagua's camp.
Investigation indicate that some of the supporters who were invited to come for this function were expecting to be paid some amount, and as a result of fighting over those resources, there was a melee which unfortunately led to some kind of a stampede.
The attack comes a month after Gachagua claimed his life was in danger, following a string of attacks on his event and alleged political motivated attacks since November 2024.
Political actors, regardless of their political affiliations, should notify the National Police Service about public events so that we can give proper security and proper coverage.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki watered down Gachagua's unveiling of his new political party, terming it a means to fanning ethnic divisions and unnecessary incitement.
Wale wanaunda vyama, there is no problem. Kila mtu aunde chama, ule anataka kuunda chama, there is no problem. Lakini wacha kusema hii ni chama ya kabila hii ama dini hii.
The injured journalist received treatment at various hospitals in Nairobi. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
Okay, there you have it. How things went down at the
journalists wamekula mulungula bwana. The way they are reporting it, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, brother.
Kenya, wacha kupupia. Why are you accusing the messenger for carrying message? There is a lot that is wrapped up into that conversation. I want us to dissect it kidogo kidogo ili tueleweshe watazamaji na pia tuelewe ni kipi kinachochezwa hapa. Haswa yale madai ya Murkomen. Murkomen, your current Minister for Internal Security, and see how he trivialized the whole thing and turns it into that the police were not informed. Are police supposed to be informed in
Bernard,
order
kwa
for them
heshima
to...
nitanyamaza for the next 5 minutes kabisa. No, kwa
Yes.
heshima, hii ni muhimu sana. Hii ni muhimu kwa wasikilizaji wetu. Kipchumba Murkomen alifanya hiyo investigation saa ngapi na alipata certificate ya kufanya investigations kugani? Hao alijulia alikuwa wapi kwanza, na hakuwa huko, alijulia wapi akisema investigation? Na tunajua yesi polisi. Hiyo investigation alifanya saa ngapi akisema investigation na hata hakuwa huko? Bernard, let's be honest tafadhali, and you know me to be honest. Tuulizane maswali zenye hatutaki kuuliza.
Murkomen is a minister for internal security, so he's the consumer of intelligence. I think that's what he's using, calling it investigation. Let me just allow Habat to share on the matter as we proceed. Habat, how are you today?
Asante sana Bernard. Siku nyingi nimejaribu kujoin, link ipatikani.
Pole, tuko na shida na neti yetu hii, inaturuhusu siku hii na ingine inatunyima, ni hivyo tu.
Sawa. Pole. So on that clip walikuwa na launch ama it was a launching or it was launching, sijui ka ilikuwa, was it launching or unveiling?
It was unveiling. Now they have a launch on the 4th of June.
Okay. Hapo nao nimekubaliana kabisa. Launch party, kama ulikuwa na uwezo, uza sera yako vile inafaa. Sijasikizana na that attack ni unfair, but ni kitu yenye we expected it, kwa sababu tunajua venye climate iko this early. The last time nilikuwa hapa, I was expecting this kind of riots hata before 2027, because climate iko in that hot, and the part yenye mkora ameongea akienda wa security huyu Murkomen, kuna jina kaya yangu Komen. Murkomen, the statement yenye ametoa, Bernard, ukigo back, every situation inafanyika kama hiyo political, that is the only statement natoleango. Si ati ametoa something, the same statement. Watu walikuwa wapeo kitu, wakakorishana kitu the same statement. So hiyo ijanishtua. Hiyo ni statement natoleango ya kwanza before wa verify information. Hapo kwa Gachagua nayo hiyo situation imechoma picha kabisa. The way kwanza manhandle that young man, for the Gen Z, I don't think wataichukulia, watajali kama ni alikuwa ameenda corruption, lakini watamunga mkono. That manhandle na bad way. Vile walitoa bunduki, hakuna mtu alikuwa na threat hapo juu ya bunduki. Those people are with stones. So mnge cover up, mnge kwa building. There are many options venye mnaweza handle such situation, kwa sababu nyinyi si polisi wa riot. You are supposed to cover up, mcover waheshimiwa, muingie kwa manyumba, kwa sababu hiyo ni mawe. Lakini hao walikuwa na charge toward those people with guns. Hiyo sijui venye Gachagua atajitetea. He has to come up, maybe ni government, lazima kuja na reason mzuri. Na suspect that riot, siko sure, but it was organized juu hao watu walikuwa na guts sana. There's no one just ametoka tu kwa boma yake na akili mzuri aende tu kuvuruga meeting ya wenyewe, hata unge kwa harusi. Hata harusi siku hizi tu watu wavurugi. You can't go to get crash a wedding. Hii penye unajua kuko na security, so these people siwaoni kama walikuwa na nia mzuri. So bunduki kitoleo pia inaeleweka. Mzuri walikuwa napiga juu. Hapo kwa media pia wamecheza chini sana, but inaeleweka tuko Kenya. Na hata nashuku kama walipigwa, no, I don't think. It's just kuongeza moto tu, news ikue na. So Gachagua sijui kama ametoa statement, but hiyo ilikuwa picha mbaya. So mwenye alikuwa ipanga hiyo rapsha yote I think ameachieve. Kwanza hapo wenye wamepiga huyo mtu mmoja wameshika, wamechoma kabisa. Itakuwa so hard to explain to the nation. Hiyo pati yao pia nimeona ni watu wa kitambo. Sijui niona mtu I don't know, nilisikia si Jonjo sijui nani. Na huyu mtu wa fertilizer fake. Come on. There is no even a Gen Z in that party. That party is done. There is no way. There is nothing they can sell. No way. That's a setup. That's a setup. The moment wasikia mtu ana launch party, anapanga kuline party na hana shida na IBC. Hizo ni doubts. Anyway, whichever means si tunajua ni one term must go. Any other thing tujui, tutajua baadaye. We still have 2 years. Asante Bernard.
Okay, thank you for that. Talking about the attack on the journalist as well as the people came to disrupt the meeting, I'm becoming very much suspicious of those erupting meetings. And then, of course, the explanation of Murkomen also leaves a lot to be desired. How does he, say the same thing? You remember the attack on Gachagua at the PCA church. Was it a PCA church in Kasarani? The same explanation was said that there are youth who are engaged to do mobilization. They were not paid, so they came to demand their payment. Now, today, again, the unveiling of the political party, the meeting had started. I mean, the meeting was to take like 1 hour or so, and all the processes were going on. How did this gang now come to disrupt that meeting, demanding which payment? Because meeting ilikuwa ijaisha na hata ilikuwa ijaanza. So malipo inafanywa ni ya nini? Na that was an enclosed place. It is the party headquarters. What Murkomen is saying leaves a lot to be desired, and it plays right in the hands of probably what if it is stage managed. If Gachagua had stage managed that to implicate the government, and then Murkomen is confirming what the government was doing, and all of it is in the pretext that Gachagua did not inform the police. I don't think the police are supposed to be informed to cover and ensure security of that magnitude. The former deputy president is unveiling his political party, and you want him to write officially to the police so that the police can come and provide security in the place. Murkomen is joking. And that's how we lose it as a country, when we get these jokers into offices of sensitive offices like that of internal security. And so what I can hear and see in Murkomen is playing politics with the security of the country and the safeguarding of the welfare of Kenyans, which is very sad. And then, of course, the security guys of Gachagua, hao ndio wamchomea kuattack the journalist, kuchukua kamera zao, kudemand wafute your footage. It means they are also a militia just like the one they are accusing to be a militia group. And so they are unconventional. So hiyo imechoma, na kama hiyo ndio Murkomen alikuwa amepanga, basi ime succeed.
Ukiniruhusu bana niongeze kidogo tu. Actually, what I'm saying here is that serikali pia inajuanga watu, they know themselves. Wanajuanga venye wao ulikuwa na behave same. Unaona? So it's not something new. These politicians wote in Kenya wanakuwa na samlisha, wanakuwa na kuna venye wanakuwa wamejipanga. So this tabia imekuwa Gachagua is, I'm not saying Gachagua says him accused on anything, but I'm very sure that hii mpango hata Sonko, nikitumia Sonko alituambia venye kumekuwa kunaenda. So this is not new. Kwa sababu that, you see, when you are in a, back then ikifanya mkutano, we had a case na Samdosi somewhere, and tuko na mali tunaweza lipa pesa tukutane. So we used to go na pitch na tunge inform the OCS that tuko na mkutano kwa pitch, because tuko kwa public. but when in an enclosed place, si lazima niweka inform the OCS na niko in a private ni kwangu tunakutana, lakini ikiwa kwa public lazima uinform for insecure. Gachagua alikuwa enclosed in a private place, not on a public, not a rally, not mkutano kwa public. So hiyo kwenda, maybe wangeitisha tu security venye mtu akifanya harambee anaitisha security. That hiyo ndio Murkomen anafaa aseme, lakini that they didn't inform the police. The police wanafaa provide security bila kuwa informed. Unaona? So hata Gachagua Kenya anapitia, I'm very sure something back then also happened. So even the way bodyguard wake wamebehave the same way the way watu walikuwa wameattack, same tabia moja, hakuna tofauti hiyo bodyguard wake na hao walikuwa watuma mawe, walikuwa na mindset moja. So hapo hata huyo mtu uzuri Mungu anatuletea hivi vitu tuone yote.
Bernard, can I say something?
Go on.
Thank you. Herbert, I respect you. Kabisa, unaileta kabisa home. Because Bernard hapa kuna game. Na sijui kwa nini watu waonagi. And Bernard, I'm sorry to attack the media. It has come to a point that kuna institutions fulani hazifai kuguzwa, wakiguzwa wanakimbia. Wanaenda wana twist kila kitu. The media, yes, it's our right to have information. The reason tumerudi mpaka kwa mafoni zetu, we are now doing our own media on the side. Now we are not waiting for KBC. It is because at our media wako hapo. I saw one time, and let me say of someone that nakinisikia atanigonga. A friend of mine, Babu Owino. One time pale Jakaranda akiwaambia na muende muandike hiyo ikiwa hivi. These guys, they earn a lot, and that's why you see the media personalities actually just all of a sudden blossoming. It's because mimi nikiwa hiyo mnaita waheshimiwa, mimi siitangi waheshimiwa. I don't even understand. Someone anakuja na kuambia, look Bernard, enda uripoti hiyo kitu ikiwa hivi, nitakupatia chapa fulani. So the way they are reporting, you question yourself on how they are reporting, because now they are reporting like Gachagwa's people, sijui walivutanisha mtu. You don't know, maybe alivutanishwa because alikuwa nafanya vitu za ujinga huko hivyo, but at least we didn't see anyone die. Kudos to the cops that were there. Kama walikuwa cops anyways, they shot up, hawakushoot mtu directly. So kudos to them, whoever they were. It's okay kuvutanisha mtu mwambie bukuja hapa unafanya nini, but it's not okay because of just recording, unless unazua vita. And this is why I go back to Venyata Herbert amesema that hii constitution na sheria, unajua watu wanadhani kuna difference ya constitution na sheria. Sheria ni constitution. You cannot be jailed for something that is not in the constitution. But if you go to the jails, you will find that more than 50% of the people who are jailed there are the people who were jailed unconstitutionally, because hata ukara hawezi tokea hapo kwa koti. Siku moja Bernard, umekaa Kenya hii miaka yote, unaijua siku gani ushienda kwa koti ukapata huyo polisi alikuja kuwa witness of that case that you are having? Because kazi yao ni kukuweka jela, either ulipe OCS ama ukienda huko upatane na judge mwenye kwanza amehongwa and everything. And that's what it is. Kama unavutanishwa hivyo, huyo jamaa is a citizen of the country. He has constitutional rights. In fact, he should be suing either Gachagua ama mwenye alimvuta. They're all in camera. Bernard, kuna kajama fulani uenaga jela kila siku, mpaka nilisikia siku hizi kana ule mwenye ongeaga kizungu mingi anasema hapana, no we are not, no. I think you know who it is. Alizua hata kwa koti in a Rex Masai's court case. Huyo jamaa hata unajua siku hizi wanasemanga yeye ni mtu wao tu, anakujanga wanampatia, anapotea, tutaonana baadaye, wanamwachilia. But when you listen to what these people are saying, it's ni lazima tufike mahali kama security ya Gachagua ilikuwa na shida, and we have the cameras. That guy that I'm talking about alisema kwa nini ya Rex Masai alikuwa kwa ya Baby Pendo alikuwa 8 years after hiyo kesi bado imesimama. Alisimama hivi akaangalia judge akamwambia you are corrupt, everybody is corrupt. Why? There's no reason kesi ya Baby Pendo inaweza kuwa bado iko pending 9 years, I mean 8 years after, and then zenyu mnakimbiza hapa hivi haraka haraka, sijui mmetushikia watu wangapi, you know. So what am I saying? I'm saying huo jamaa mwenye alivutanishwa, kama ni ukweli ni media, because I know the media, the Githeri media is in bed with these people. Huyo anafaa ashikwe mwenye alivutanishwa huo jamaa, because there's no harm in recording anything. Jamaa kufanya kitu hakuwa na bunduki na kufanya chochote na kuhamu mtu. So even with that Gachagua, even when we are trying to start moving on to a different kind of world, we also have to be accountable. For me, I stand for constitutionalism, but if I break that constitution, Bernard, I need to be held accountable. Hiyo ndio nakubaliana kabisa na Herbert.
Okay, that is accurate. Yes, Herbert, unasemaje? Want to switch gears?
Yeah, alikuwa nataka kuongeza kidogo tu kenye Mkora amesema hapo. Amesema usi media, sikuwa nataka kuingilia media sana, but ni kenye hata mimi nowadays najua. Actually, they don't inform us, they tell us. They don't even report news anymore, they tell news. Yani, instead of reporting it, ana-interpret, it tells you what you want to hear. That's why unapata somewhere in Kisumu mtu amekaa hapo anasikiza Ramogi, and somewhere in Mlima mahali Nyeri ndani kwa Mugumo to somewhere in city anasikiza Inoro. Now the way is being told the same news is different because they are telling news, lakini mwenye ana own the same media is one person. How comes? Right now angalia, this Citizen guy was able to record everything. How comes yake ikudilitiwa? Na that guy is from some small media, UTV. Angalia venye amekuwa handled hapo chini. Ati delete, alafu this guy is recording ati media is being attacked. Kwa hivyo yeye ni one of the media alikuwa hired air that program. Unaona? So media ingine wakakaribishwa lakini wakuwa part of that program. Lakini situation where zili happen now, they have to attack the media yenye haikuwa imekaribishwa wa delete. That's why Citizen was able to get some snippets dogo za kujitetea. That was wrong. So hiyo si media, that's not journalism. We know. Venye Mkora amesema, kuna kitu wanapewa. Nowadays, mimi sisikizi news because they are just telling you what you want to hear. Badala ya kukuripotia kulienda hivi na hivi. That's why alikuwa anaongea tu how media was being attacked. Not how venye kulienda, it was how media was being attacked. Na yeye amerecord everything. What of tunataka kuona hizo clips zao, hizo media zingine ndio tukorelate tuone. That's the problem with our media. So anything mimi naweza ambia wenye wanasikiza this show, if you take every clip ya media apart from zile shows za kutalk, za talking shows, report news, ukuwe keen words zenye wanatumia, very selective. They are telling what you want to hear, the way they want it, narrative yao, not reporting. So each time unaona news, make sure from morning unakuwa umesha uko X, you have collected information. Ikikuja hapo unapata your interpretation tofauti na Kenya wanakwambia. So that media kusema kweli inatufail. Mimi sipendi media siku hizi. I just get my own news, analyze vile najua. Citizen hapo ametufail. It's not about media wanatakiwa. The story was not about you. The story about Wakenya wenye wanavurugana, not peace. Hao wameipindua into media ndio tukue blind. not to see what's happening. Eh? That's unfair.
Exactly.
And
Thank you.
to
Thank you.
add to my friend there, there's a bad narrative that actually roams the streets of Africa and the streets of Kenya. This narrative is that you cannot touch the media and you cannot touch the female party. I'm not saying this in a bad way, but those two things you touch, hata ujimoto itakumwagikia. So we need to actually go back to not the zile vitu tunaita norms. We go back to the reality of what it is, because and that is it. Mimi personally niliamua kuwa boy child defender. You find people are dying, men, but because the society does not defend that, they know how to defend the media. Media wakikuzwa kidogo, news mzima, the whole world, even though kama alikuwaje ni mtu wetu, they're even worse than the politicians. But also kuna tule tu vitu twingine tunajua sisi ni manoms, and Bernard, I think is about time that the society actually breaks itself from some of the things that are known to be norms. Okay, we can leave the kid will always be there, hawezi guza mtoto, but there's some people who masquerade behind either we are the media, tumechapwa, now it becomes news, we are whatever, but you don't know kwa nini mmechapwa. Kama mmechapwa kiukweli, nasemi ati I advocate for any violence, but kama you're doing something wrong, the society is gonna tell you what is wrong and what is right. If you're doing it right, hakuna mtu atakuguza. If you're a lady and you're doing everything right, and you do something wrong and now you go back and say, oh, it's because I'm a woman. Oh, it's kind of like even places where we live, whites and blacks. You will find someone has done something wrong. It's just because I'm a black person. The societal norms have to go with the rules of how the society lives. And maybe that's where mimi nakwaga na issue na media, and because nimekupatia example and I have many, is because media saa zingine they act like they are not, unajua, they can do whatever, and then all of a sudden they get all this and then they change the norm because they're thinking everybody is listening to them, including the celebrities, that people who have limelight. Then kama ule mwenye alisema anaweza nunua Kenya mzima. But on the celebrity side, ukiguzua mtu, there's a problem. So Bernard, wewe ni pastor. I hope you understand where I'm trying to, where ile bush natoka kujaribu kusema. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mkenya Mkora. I share your sentiments, and maybe just I should attach a historical reality on the same. The control of media was quite bad time ya Moi, but we got into some level of freedoms later on, but we lost it 2007. You remember the post-election violence? Most of it was explained on the media, that the media did the reporting, the media that exposed the information before the IBC, whatever the Electoral Commission announced. That's the reason why the country was on fire. So they steal and then they turn around and blame the media. Then from there, now the media shied off. The 2013 elections was rigged quietly, all of it because the media was told not to report anything, not to say anything, only to say what IBC has said. And that's where we lose it. Now, what we're having is a group of lazy journalists who don't confirm anything. There's a story we carried here of a media house reported the abducted MCA has died, his body has been found, the burial, it's an arrangement. 3-4 weeks later, the man resurfaces. They don't come to apologize and say we were wrong, we reported wrongly, we were hasty in reporting. Life continues as if nothing has happened. So this level of maximizing the use of media for wrong reasons is a very serious attack on the livelihood of the Kenyan people, which to me is something that we should not brush off. We should push until we get the media to do what they are required to do. This sensational reporting and this accepting to be bought so that you push an agenda of a specific political party or a specific politicians needs to be divorced from really reporting of issues and informing Kenyans or educating Kenyans. But if the media becomes a gun for hire, it becomes, a tool that the politicians can twist and use for their own end, then we are doomed as a society, because the media is supposed to be the mirror and the expose of what is not going on that is not right. But what we are being treated to is a game. And I also share the sentiments of Big J, akisema hii kitu inakaa ni drama tu. Ni drama tu, it's a script being acted. Because I don't see how the unveiling of a political party will sanction goons and they come to disrupt and then they are contained outside. And then after that, the party continues and everything that was to take place takes place. It looks unnatural. It looks stage managed. But let's wait and see how it plays out. Now, naomba tafadhali tusonge mbele, tuache hilo swala, tusungumzie hili, muda ndio huu unaendelea kuyoyoma. Nilikuwa nataka tuangazie hili swala la William Ruto, China and the USA. Let's just hear the story and weigh on this.
Our sign language interpreter is Yola Nzale. Tonight we begin with a diplomatic rift between Kenya and the United States following President William Ruto's pro-China remarks during his visit to Beijing last month. The comments, widely interpreted as a shift in Nairobi's foreign policy, have sparked concern in Washington, with the U.S. Senate now pushing for a review of America's strategic relations with Kenya. Stephen Leto reports.
President Ruto's remarks at Peking University, one of China's most prestigious institutions, have sent ripples all the way to the U.S. Senate, where a group of American legislators is now demanding a thorough review of the United States' relationship with Kenya. During his visit to Beijing, President Ruto described China as far more than just a trade partner, casting Kenya and China as co-architects of a new world order. His remarks alluded to the emerging geopolitical shifts advanced by global power players like China and Russia, signaling a potential realignment of Kenya's foreign policy on the international stage.
Kenya and China are not merely trade partners. We are co-architects of a new world order, one that is fair, inclusive, and sustainable.
President Ruto's remarks come on the heels of his May 2024 trip to the United States, where Washington granted Kenya the status of a major non-NATO ally, a designation that deepened bilateral ties. But now, U.S. Senator Jim Rich, chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, is urging caution. He says America must exercise restraint with African nations like Kenya that continue to maintain close ties with China, warning of potential strategic challenges ahead.
Many African nations maintain troubling ties with China, including key national security partners. Just last month, President Ruto declared that Kenya, a major non-NATO ally, and China are co-architects of a new world order.
Ruto's trip to the United States and Kenya's designation as a major non-NATO ally promised Nairobi privileged access to sophisticated military equipment, training programs, and loans to strengthening its defense capabilities. But all these strategic benefits now hang in the balance as the U.S. Senate calls for a review of Kenya-U.S. relations, a move that could jeopardize years of defense cooperation and diplomatic gains.
It's time to reassess our relationship with Kenya and others who forge tight bonds with China. And it isn't just an embracement of China, but also the, quote, new world order, end quote.
During his trip to China, President Ruto maintained that Kenya's diplomatic approach is not to turn exclusively to the east or west, but rather to navigate strategically across the complex geopolitical tensions of east, west, north and south.
As the first African state visit to China this year mirrors my 2024 visit to the United States, the first African state visit there in 15 years. Perhaps symbolically, Kenya can serve as a bridge between East and West, North and South, in an era of deepening geopolitical tensions.
Nairobi is yet to issue an official statement in response to the recent developments in Washington. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Bernard, because I need to go. Let me answer on this one, because this was a big one on me.
Carry on.
With all due respect, sir. Bernard, kwani wewe umesahau? Wewe tumekuwa na wewe hapa tukiongea kitu ya geopolitics, international law. For, I believe, 3.5 years, we've been here talking about the same thing. Bernard, when you create enemies from different countries, regardless you call them first world or second world or whatever it is, because tuliambiwa sisi tutakuwa third world forever. Okay? There's a big problem because even Ukraine walienda side moja wakasema sasa lazima uongee. Ukitoa mshamba kutoka ushago na anataka kujifanya anajua venye mali anapeleka country, you have a problem. There's a reason most of the presidents in Africa keep quiet and let it be. Gaddafi, the only reason aliingiliana now is because they wanted to change their currency. Uhuru came and changed the currency, hakuna mtu alipiga kelele. This is a war now that the mighty or wenye wanasikia wako nayo, which is China and US, wanapigana, lakini kuna kamtu hapa chini kanawasumbua. You're doomed if you do, you're doomed if you don't. So you'd rather just keep quiet. I would appreciate it, even though he's not my president, the president of Kenya to just keep quiet and stop kuinua kichwa sana akionekana. Wachana can do because he's protected by the military and everything. Huyu hakuna mtu anamprotect. Hiyo military iko na shida na yeye. Bernard, international law, mtajingiza kwa shida ingine upate. Like now, it's true. Some of us and some of many people that live in the diaspora wanakipata. Okay? Because there's a problem. Geopolitical and international issues. When you see Ruto akisimama huko, na I think tulikuwa tumemwambia rudi, after kumchapa kiatu tulikuwa tumemwambia akae pale State House, afanye kazi kama amenyamaza. Kenya inajulikana worldwide. I know haba utanisupport kwa hii kitu. I hope utanisupport na utaelewa kitu yenye nasema when you come in. Lakini Kenya inajulikana. Wachaneni na Kenya, wacha kushinda ukienda huko hivyo. So now the other time alikuwa ameenda anasema yeye ana support Israel, ika backfire. Watu wakamwambia nyinyi mna support Israel nini? Okay, Haiti ndio hiyo. Kiguna njia. Why not just chill? Ona Suluhu kamenyamaza tu, yeye anafanya tu vitu zake. I don't know what you guys think about this, but I think like Ruto, I mean, I've been seeing hata ukiingia TikTok huko hivyo unapata watu even watu wanasema tu Kenya, 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 Kenya. You put yourself in such a limelight and then you find yourself that you've never even manufactured one source of defense. Vitu zote mnatumia, if it's F-16 ni zao, wanazijua zote. At least Uhuru akienda kutoka pale, even though I never liked him, akienda kutoka aliacha pale Gigiri nini gun manufacturing, na wajui kama the trigger tuna trigging the same way, so they don't know. That's how you defend yourself. Kenya is exposed. Is just ni katoi Kenya la kanaweza chapo kiboko na mtu yote cause and everything. We are trying to put ourselves somewhere where we are not, but unless we come up with our things and depend on ourselves and have our own secrets. Coca-Cola, you don't know what the ingredient is. We need to have our own ingredient that other countries want to know what is that ingredient, and then we'll be respected. Lakini hii kitu ya kwenda hapa hivi kachokora tu unaenda kuomba sijui wewe dadi nipatie sijui mkate, sijakula leo na kupatia mkate, najua hiyo mkate kule nimetoa, lakini kama ungekuwa nayo anyway, wacha niachie hapo. Kama kuna mwenye amenielewa. Bernard, I gotta go.
Okay, thank you for that. And as we weigh on that, that's a very sensitive matter, which I will require everybody to lay to heart, and we look at it critically. To me, it appears to me that we talked about the multiplied number of advisors that William Ruto is paying hefty payments every month. But to me, they are doing a very bad job, because that speech, he was reading it literally on screen. That means been prepared. Such a statement, you want to tell me that all those advisors did not see that this is a problem they are bringing to themselves? I don't think even that's a matter of Ruto advising them to advise him. When it comes to international relations and diplomatic operations, every word counts, every statement counts. And when that statement is given officially in in an address like that, it cannot be a mistake. And so I don't know what Musalia Mudavadi is going to put together to write as an explanation to the US, but in my opinion, imechomeka. But
hiyo topic ni moto sana. Mimi nikianza Bernard, I don't know, hiyo time tulikuwa na a certain brother ndio alikuwa host hapa. The first time nilijoin this to give my 2 cents this show, actually since kusema niliprophesy ama nilipredict, if you go back and listen what I said, every single kila kitu came to pass. Na I don't know, sasa hivi nilikuwa na braga, nilikuwa naambia hii kitu yote nasema itakuwa hivi na hivi, from that case ya nito nani ya wa senator ile ya Uhuru. The following morning court ilifanya nini? It was not ilikuwa tu just a game. Issue ya this China, nikirudia kile nilisema many weeks ago, I knew that was a problematic, na nilikuwa nasema our president is just gambling. Nilisema it was a chess move to see how US react, but he was moving a chess upon towards a queen. Sisi tuna hiyo nguvu. That was just a useless chess move, haingefanya kitu. The problem iko hapa, and nakumbuka we have our Reverend, tulipelekana sana hapo. I was trying to give him the mindset yenye Trump ako nayo, and to people's when walikuwa is like I was not that informed. Nikawambia everything in happen hapa ni obvious. The next thing, even that trade, I was talking about that trade, that time yenye trade, inaitwaje? This investment China imeleta hapa. It was sisi tuwe proxy. It was a proxy, tuwe proxy that China ilete their goods, alafu they export through us. The same thing they have been doing to Vietnam. That's why Vietnam ilipigwa na ikifika 80% tariff. Those neighbors. That's why see investment imeletwa hapa ni go down ya how many billions. I don't know is a go down or what. How? Go down ya 80. Hey. So hiyo nilijua itatukoka na at that time sikumbuki jina yake. The host alikuwa ananiambia ati how sure am I Trump atatupiga higher tariff next time. Nikamwambia I don't know okay it happen but I'm very sure kichapo inakuja. Because this thing it was obvious. From trade. Angalia sasa is not some threat. Wanadhania ni threat. Trump akisema kitu a threat. Before that mzungu atoe hiyo statement, that chairman, that guy must have been involved. I remember the envoy ilikuja ilipitia Rwanda. I remember Trump alisema straight to Rwandan president, toa forces zako Congo, sisi ndo tunakuja. But he did a courtesy towards our president. Me is my president cause watu walipiga kura. Hiyo siwezi kataa. Sikumpigia lakini watu walipiga. So I will call him a president. And akatoa convoy, hiyo envoy ikakuja hapa Kenya. I'm very sure they came to tell Ruto in a good way. Remove your forces wapi? Congo. We have some special forces in Congo. Kila mtu anajua. In a good way. Ya kusema venye alisema ile ya Rwanda. Rwanda hakujipiga kifua. Sasa Rwanda anatoa proposal that he want to provide some extra cell ya immigrants. Naona deal yenye Rwanda na make. What did our president did? Kwa sababu maybe walichujwa Congo, he ran China, ka make move. Oh, China, we are making trade, new world order. The Rwandan president didn't make that such move. He went back to deal. Now he's dealing that maybe akona good prisons. Immigrants anaweza letwa wengine hapo. You see, the El Salvador thing. That's how you work with Trump. See, una make chess move. China tried. I remember Reverend, nimesahau jina yake, was telling me that I'm not sure that the Trump will fold. Right now, China folded, walienda kwa table, they did the trade. I was telling you, hataweza. The same way this our president anacheza. We are very small, we have nothing. Hiyo China inaweza tusaidia hata wakati wa pirates.
Na bro Herbert, while you are at it, cause nasikiza, cause I know you understand nini, ueleze watu what world order states na ni nini watu wenye walianza nayo kitu ya world order, na ndio waelewe kwa nini kina Bill Gates sasa wanakuja na vitu za vaccination na GMO na nini. Can you please explain to people what world order means and where it came from?
Hata hiyo swali yako ni mzuri kwa sababu the same talk the first ilikuwa naongelea how these things are not coincident. Vitu zime happen kwingine. That world order ikuanza hata Trump, the reason why Trump hakuwa anatakikana ni Mungu tu, hata ali agree that Mungu ndo alimweka hapo. He said that thing. Trump said that ni God alimweka hapo, alisaidia maisha yake. So you see, world order is the people wanataka organize how they will control all the world with ikuwe ni food supply, ikuwe ni ID. Kenya unaona ndio nikisema Kenya was ground zero. I remember when tulikuwa tunaambiwa sasa ID zetu zina expire, alafu their digital ID. So some kind of digital, kuna some code, sijui ni some code imewekwa, some graphic, you unaweza scan that ID. Like right now if you want to verify LinkedIn with your ID, LinkedIn ina verify only hapa Kenya with that digital ID. Hii ID ina expire. That's part of the agenda. ID ina expire. These are things tunafanywa ground zero, si kila mahali. This is a ground zero. Everything was experimental since our dear president had joined. Those were the deal alipiga huko na Biden. They brought in a data center somewhere to be built. I remember Uhuru was here. Walikuwa na fight over some I don't know, it was lab ilikuwa tengenezo Kenyatta University. People walikuwa dhani tu ni pesa shamba. No. Uhuru, even though tukupenda Uhuru was against that hiyo kitu 100%. And nikakumbuka I touch also on why we have a CJ woman. The same show tu nikwambia, those are the world order agenda. Sisi ndo ground zero. That's why our dear Royal Media, if you see shows zenye wanatuletea ni women, venye umesema boy child, it shows how to protect woman. Mwanamke na hii, mwanamke bomba. No men. Now the USAID fund is dried. So the agenda kubwa hii world new order wanasema ya China is just to align themselves. Unajua wanaitangwaje? Russia, China, India nikaa iko nje. Even I spoke about India that I was telling hiyo time Reverend anambia that the next place Trump ataenda ni India, and it happened. The factories are going there. iPhone ilianza kitambo, sasa they are going there making more. They were making like 15%, now they are going there full. You see, when you have information, mimi naweza waambia watu enda utafute information, arm yourself, don't be ignorant of this internet unaweka tu status. Go angalia how the world is running, world politics. You will utaweza kuona the next move these puppets will do. These are puppets, they don't make their own mind. The next move itakuwa obvious. That's why I'm able to know the next move ni hapa. That's why mtu anaweza sema yenyewe this Gachagua thing is not organic, not normal. Why? Because he sound like it.
Alafu bro, si tuliwaambia tu hapa hivi tukiwa nawe tukawaambia hata visa za UK zitakanseliwa mwanze kulipa. What has happened yesterday?
Yeah, see such things. Kwa sababu kenye inafanyika ni I really appreciate kenye Gen Z walifanya. I was saying this thing. We took the power. Wakati they found out that even though maybe there were some people trying to fund the Gen Z with their own agenda, it didn't work. They found out it was the country, the people themselves ndo waliamua. They knew kuna shida. That's why they are pulling out, trying to find someone mwenye ata resonate na sisi, a leader who will resonate with us as organization, because everything is at stake. That's why I was talking the last time we were talking about BBC here, that documentary. To me it was BBC inasafisha rada. The same way, and uangalie what I think you are in diaspora, Ms. Mkora. The same way the media there is wanasafisha rada on the lies they tell, trying to come up with books trying to defend them on the lies they used to tell. Unashindwa nini basi? Hao ndo walikuwa nasema hivi Biden sijui haezi, ukitry to say Biden was like this, ni shida. Right, they're coming out that they're exposing that sijui some conspiracy, and there are same people who are part of that conspiracy. That's what BBC was doing here. Our president during the Gen Zs was quoting BBC at a source. Hope imagine media iko nje miles away, ana quoting at BBC ilisema sio hivyo, and the people on the ground ndio walikuwa the first people. That's our president right now. BBC inataka kusafisha kuonyesha they are the no, yeye iwezi. So this issue ya China, it was a chess move na imekuja kumuuma, lakini anafaa fikiria. I remember nilikuwa nasema we don't have anything to trade. Look, the president wa Congo vile aliambia Trump, kuja niko na minerals, nitolee hawa watu deal. Ruto atasema tuko na nini? What will you say? The UK wako na shimo kaa zote, hao wenyewe politician wameshika hizi mashimo, shell companies. Mtu anaenda atengeneza kampuni China, alafu ndio inapewa contract ya barabara. We have nothing to trade with the US rather than just being slaves. Sasa utaambia Trump nini? He can't, there's nothing can trade on. Hakuna. Sisi ni wafanyikazi, tunataka tutume Qatar, tutume Dubai. That's the problem. Right now hana ene kitu yote anaweza make deal na Trump akaplay chess move. That was a big mistake. Angetafuta njia, hata napenda huyu president wa Rwanda, at least yeye aliona mapema, badala ya kujipiga kifua is trying to look for something yenye ata trade na huyu msee. But this our president kwa sababu ni mtu anaendanga anatupa maneno ati sisi ni watu neutral. Bro, at some point lazima ukuwe na ally. Juu wakati uko kwa shida, kweli utakimbilia nani? Si jirani huyo, the person next to you. So you can't be, hata Biblia wasema let your yes be yes and no be no. Huwezi kuwa ati hapo katikati wewe unaruka huko. Ukienda huko US unatuletea LGBTQ hapa. Ukienda China unataka tuletee. No. Have a stand. If it's deal, una make deal like Trump doing, make a deal. Na tuta understand. Lakini proxy anataka kutengeneza hapa, sisi ndio itatukok. So my final thoughts ni from Gachagua, those are the one people from government to Gachagua to Kalonzo, every person, mtu yote amekuwa kwa system, they are one thing. Hiyo ndio kitu nimerealize. I'm keeping an eye macho kwa Morara because right now he's talking points, anachukua huyu kijana mwingine, this tomboya wanabiu jamaa kijana mdogo huyu. It's like they're in the same system already. So mimi sijui mwenye nitapigia kura, lakini najua mwenye hatakuwa. So hiyo ndo kitu kila mtu make sure, go get information. Acha kurely on this our news here. You will see everything obvious. You rely on Citizen, K24, you will be lost, my friend. There's this thing I know they are doing. This parado account ni nyingi. Watu ukienda X, watu wengi si legit. They're just bots built to, kama site what we are doing here towards election. Hizi bots zitakuja hapa, we know them nyingi, watakuja wa spam your chat. It will happen. Wame prepare because tiari they have lose the war of information. That's why the media is aligning with the government. Wame lose hiyo vita. That's why the only media inakwanga mbele sana kwa social media ni Citizen. They know where the information is. So wapenzi wasikilizaji, watazamaji, make sure you arm yourself with the information. Angalia world politics, usipuuze, na upende usipende, US ndio nchi kubwa hii dunia, ina influence a lot of places. Russia, angalia those things. That's when we will know this is our puppet, the next move they will make. It's obvious. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Herbert, for that informative givings. Confirmation. I can see Reverend Lala on the comment section and say my WhatsApp account has been hacked. Please beware these international Kenya criminals asking for 50,000 in my name. We had raised that on the WhatsApp group as well. So please beware. Don't fall a victim of the scam of those twisted people who are cloning people's number and using it to solicit money from people, unsuspecting people. So beware, please don't fall into that particular trap. Once again, Big J anasema unakumbuka ile story ya goons against Gachagua in church, is the same way. Now, these goons around Gachagua, we need to investigate it closely and come to the required obvious conclusion. But in my opinion, Gachagua is not sitting pretty as much as he believes he has taken the mountain from William Ruto. I think there are some insecurities around, and so he wants to capitalize on the I'm being targeted, I'm being fought, just like Ruto did, to ensure that that sympathy remains with him, and that gives him an upper hand. And I think his main focus is to control the Mount Kenya vote. I don't think he has anything else to offer Kenyans. Now, back to the diplomatic relations. I think the William Ruto office desperately needs somebody who understands international relations, and William Ruto needs to put himself under the direction of his diplomatic relations experts. These statements is issuing in every place. International politics is not local politics. local politics hapa atasema aliongea na mtu alikufa 7 years ago akamuzia shamba. That one will understand, it's local here. But it should not carry that same mentality to China and every place and go and say things that he can't stand by. And, you know, now there is a serious explanation being demanded. And of course, there will be repercussions. We should not take this lightly. And I think even the people, key leaders, need to take this up. Just like they were discussing the multiplied number of advisors in parliament. I think this is a matter also that needs to get to the floor of the House and people ventilate on it. The president is putting the country at risk. We are already in trouble with Congo. We are already in trouble with Sudan. We are now inviting trouble from America. There is something not adding up. And I don't even think it's about borrowing or seeking help. Because kama unahitaji msaada, lazima unajinyenyekeza. Lakini uendi kuchokora wengine ili uonekane kana kwamba ndio unahitaji msaada sana. So I really would share into what Herbert has said. Let's gather enough information and be able to respond to those information and refuse to fall into the trap of misinformation that both the media and the political class wants to pass across. And maybe also let me say something about Herbert and the trouble of who to vote for. In my opinion, it's still too early. Secondly, there are two ways of getting leadership. Leadership is either it either finds you or it is thrashed on you. Thrashed on you means like what the Bible says, Amos talking about, say, I'm not a son of a prophet, I'm not a prophet, and I'm not a son of a prophet. I was minding my own business on my way to go and plow with my animals. Then suddenly the word came to me and I was told to stand up and go and prophesy. And so some of the issues we are worried about, who will be the leader, who are we going to vote for? If the political class is not going to be part of God's agenda in terms of providing leadership, there will be a leader. Kenya will not be left without a proper leader, even at this critical time. And so our hours should be concentrating on gathering enough information, equipping the masses into proper understanding of the responsibility of electing and putting a person in office. If there is anything I would want to achieve, even through these shows, is putting back that burden, that sense of responsibility, that whoever we put in office, we will suffer or enjoy. And so we can't play with it. We must be so much keen about it, just like that surgeon that is operating on a sensitive part in the body of a patient, and that sensitive part can mean continuity of life or extermination of that life. If we succeed in getting every eligible voter to feel like that going to that booth and casting the vote is either killing Kenya or saving Kenya, is either saving those critical people in the country or destroying them altogether. If we succeed in getting every voter to think that way, we are not going to that booth and come out with that. Another leader like Ruto, another leader like Gachagua, another leader like we have been treated to mediocrity all along. So in my prayers and in my wish for this country, let's up the game. Let's put the standards back where they are supposed to be. Let's look for character. Let's look for integrity. Let's look for somebody you can trust. We have people who travel out of the country. You don't leave your family in the care of the people you suspect. You don't do that. You can't. You make sure you will be away for 6 months, and you want your family to be safe. So you look for a faithful friend, a faithful brother, even including your family members. Unajua nani nikimwachia familia yangu itakuwa sawa, nani nikimwachia familia yangu itateseka. You carefully pick on who you leave your treasured people on your treasured properties in their care. We can't play around with the leadership of the country and give it that casual approach like we are doing and succeed at getting right leadership. And so in my call for each one of us is, let's wake up from our slumber and realize siasa mbaya ni maisha mbaya, siasa nzuri ni maisha mazuri. Tusichague wezi, tusichague watu ambao wako na tabia zisizoeleweka, tusishabikie maovu, tusimame kinyume na maovu. Hii maneno ya kusema 10 bila break, Wakikuyu hawapendi kabila zingine zikuwe kwa uongozi. Don't buy into that madness. Let's look for credible leaders for this great nation, because that's the only way we'll make this country function and be able to take care of each and every Kenyan. And so as we begin to wrap up the show, please, I beg of you, don't toy around with that one sole sacred responsibility that you share with God of electing somebody and putting that person in office. Don't joke with it. Let it be a serious, heavyweight matter on you, that by me putting this person in office, I'm either killing Kenyans or saving Kenyans. By putting this person in office, I'm either helping the economy or destroying the economy. I'm either stopping corruption or enhancing corruption. If we can all get that sense of responsibility, we will not toy around with our vote and we will not toy around with the electoral process. But this casual approach is unacceptable. And so Kenyans of goodwill, it is about time we rose up and did what we need to do, and that is stop the evil in our country. Stop the mediocrity in the seat of power. Stop these confused elements from handing them power to run the affairs of this country. Kenya is not short of people that can deliver as far as excellent leadership is concerned. We have brains. We have excellent, well-educated, raised people that love this country and want the best of this country. We are spoiled for choice. Let's wake up and ensure that that is done without fail. Otherwise, naomba kila mmoja amakinike katika mambo haya yote. Tunapofungasha, ningependa tu kuwakumbusha mtusaidie kulipa bills. Bills hapa tunalipa kutokana na wewe kufurahia show alafu kutuma mchango wako, na tuna majukumu mengi tu ambayo tunapaswa kuyashughulikia. Moja hapo kuhakikisha kwamba bills zetu zinalipwa. Mnasikia hapo ni hiyo ni token, Wandai anadai hela yake. So naomba tafadhali usilegee katika kuchanga na kutusaidia kulipa hizo bills. Pili, ni bado tuna ile jukumu la kusimamia masuala ya nani? Ya Frank. Kwa hivyo naomba wote ambao tulicommit kusupport Frank, tusiache hii kazi ikiwa katikati, tufikishe salama mwisho. So tafadhali, namba ni ile ile, details ni zile zile. You either use the till number 516575 ama unatumia namba yangu ya moja kwa moja +254718454585. Bernard is the name. Tafadhali na kuomba usilegee katika mambo haya ili tukafanikishe kazi zetu zote pamoja. Frank lazima tumlipe rent. Leo tumekuwa na story na yeye, stima yao ilikuwa inakatwa. So nawaomba tafadhali tumelegea sana kwa hilo swala. That's why we are in a crisis. So I don't want that crisis to continue. Please step up, do what you can do. And then, of course, you can also contribute to the kitty that supports Frank. Frank needs to finish his studies. He needs to be able to open like a small business, and then we'll be able to win him over the support by the channel in sustaining him and their grandmother. So tukilegea kabla amalize hata kusoma hajafungua kioski ile tulisema anafungua alafu tunapotea, tutakuwa tumetekeleza wajibu wetu kweli? Sioni hiyo kama itakuwa sawa. So naomba tusifanye hivyo. Let's keep at it until we win. So there is a PayPal account there link. If you click on that PayPal link, you can also be able to make your contribution via PayPal. So you can either use M-Pesa number, the M-Pesa till number, or the PayPal link. I've shared those details in the comment section. Please, let's act, and I need to see responses today tafadhali. Tusingoje bills kianza ku-overlap, itafika mahali ambapo tutashindwa, na mistaki tushindwe. Mtu mmoja tu, wale wote Gen Z ndio kila kitu. Tumekuwa hapa tukiimba maneno ya Gen Z, tukiwashabikia waende wa demonstrate hiyo mambo yote. Frank is our responsibility kwa sababu ya hiyo story ya Gen Z. That's why I feel responsible. Alikwenda kufanya maandamano vile tuliwaambia. Katika hiyo maandamano akapigwa risasi 6 na kwa neema ya Mungu akaponea. Susai hawezi kufanya kazi ya mjengo tena. Tungemwacha tu huko slum aendelee kufanya kazi ya mjengo kama anaweza kumlisha na shosho yake, lakini hawezi kwa sababu ya the outcome ama effect ya hizo 6 bullets. So sai sio mlemavu hawezi kutembea manini. Mmemuona hapa kwa show. He's a young man, is recollecting himself, but I still want us to help him to be on his feet and be able to do what he can do to take care of himself and the grandmother. And we can just facilitate that. In one way, kualipia rent, kununulia chakula, and then kumwandaa ili aanze biashara. Sasa hakuna biashara ambayo unaamka tu alafu unaenda kununua unaanza kuuza na succeed. You must have a skill, you must be trained, and that training is what we are working on. So please, I want to emphasize that and hope that we will have serious response in the same to be able to offset all the pending bills and succeed in ensuring that we are the blessing we intend to be in his life continues to be, and of course it is for the good of all, I believe. Asanteni sana kwa kila mmoja. Naomba tafadhali mturuhusu tufungie hapo mchakato wa leo, lakini kuna swala ambalo moja ama mbili hatujalizungumzia. Hebu nione. I think we have covered most of it, but I will still do a video. I promised to do a video about Gachagua and his political party, as well as tribal inclusion, which is which. So I think I'll make time to be able to organize all that, and I'll do a video and then upload. In the meantime, as we close, even when we have closed, tafadhali, share the video widely. Let's get more people viewing. We have over 6K subscribers, but the viewers are very low on the channel. I don't understand how that is possible. So tafadhali, let's wake up, run this channel as our responsibility. Kama maneno yote tunasema hapa ni ya muhimu na inakusaidia kwa njia moja au nyingine, sambaza hiyo information ili watu wengi wafikiwe na hao waelewe kipi ambacho kinaendelea na watakuwa sehemu ya mabadiliko kwa njia ipi. Lakini usilegee, maovu yatakoma, mema yata succeed tukisimamia hayo mema na hiyo haki kwa kila mmoja. Thank you very much. See you in the next show.
Watu wa Kawangware, haleluya! Salmist Abel na Isaac wakishirikiana na wilaya ya Rusinga PAG Kawangware wanakuletea Racing a Sound Worship Night.
Katika maisha yangu kwenye kisondicho sikidukanga wamevujira moni uti ama unile Yesu ama
Ni Ijumaa hii tarehe 16 Mei 2025 kuanzia saa 3 usiku hadi majogoo katika kanisa la Revival Apostolic Church Kawangware kwenye stani ya Kayole Ndogo Ndwaru chini ya uongozi wake mchungaji Asava. Mhubiri mkuu wa siku ni Kasisi Liki. Nyimbo za sifa na maabudu zitaongozwa naye Gifted Peace akishirikiana na Hallelujah Sounds of Worship. Karibuni nyote tujiunge na the dynamic duo tumwabudu Bwana Mungu. Kwa maelezo zaidi wasiliana nasi kwenye 0799772022. Usikose.
You've dreamed about the perfect wedding, the dress, the vows, the happily ever after. But let's ask the most important question. Before you say I do, are you truly ready for the lifelong commitment that comes after the honeymoon period fades? Bernard Ngozzi's groundbreaking ebook, Are You Marriage Ready?, is the ultimate guide to building a successful, lasting marriage. This isn't just another relationship book, it's a heart-to-heart conversation that prepares you for one of life's biggest decisions, getting married. Are you choosing love or just infatuation? Are you building a marriage or just planning a wedding day?
Reading this book was a game changer. I realized I wasn't as ready as I thought, but now I'm on the right path.
Don't wait until it's too late. Invest in your future. Download Are You Marriage Ready today. Link in the description below. Your future spouse deserves the best. Are you ready?
Watu wa Mungu, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kipindi cha mahubiri kimerudi tena kwa kishindo kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Tunakufundisha, kukuelimisha na kukutia moyo kwenye Daily Bite. Mafundisho kamili ya Biblia kila siku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Sound Candy Talk.
Audio Jungle.